Hello, Virgo. Excuse me. This is your reading for this lovely new moon in Taurus, another earth sign. So we're just going to, if you haven't checked in to this channel before, we do a shortened Celtic cross. Look at the basis, central point, what's behind you, where you're at, and moving forward, and then we go through and clarify. So let's get stuck into it. General impressions of this, if you've looked in at the reading for this new moon in Taurus, I do give a few general impressions about the feelings around that. So anyway, let's have a look at your cards. We'll turn them up. We come out with the Emperor, wonderful, strong position. Wow, crossed by. Wow, this is pretty amazing, Virgo. So we see here the Emperor is the combination of all those kings from each element in the tarot. He embodies all of the qualities, at most beneficial quality aspects. We see the Empress's consort. We see this incredibly strong figure, really seated in a place where he is obviously most comfortable, he or she, whatever. Gender is not the point. Very comfortable position, very strong position. The only lower polarity, I guess, of this card is issues of control. I don't really see that here. We have it crossed by the Six of Wands, which is the penultimate winning card. A card of being seen to be successful, seen to be, a winner, actually. Also for your service to others. The basis of this is the Star. I do get a sense that we get the Star, which is about healing. It is about healing. Sorry, the light's a bit... Oh, hold that. The light's a bit strange today, coming in strange directions. The Star is all about healing, being a kind of clear channel. It's a very Aquarian card, a bridge between the celestial and the earth. It's kind of, this is a really sort of successful placement. I mean, successful in a really material sense as well as a personal one. So let's just keep going through, Virgo. Look at what's behind you. What's just passed? What's passed? What's behind Virgo at this current time? Wow. Yeah, look, strength comes from these things. We have the Five of Cups. Now, it is a card, of understanding, disappointment, and all of those kind of things. But, of course, the traditional figure ignores the two, sees the three spilt cups, ignores the two that exist behind. So, life lessons. I mean, we all understand melancholy. We all understand what disappointment is. And it's certainly, well, let's just keep going, shall we, Virgo? Where are you at right now, if you've understood that? So you turn around and you see the two, you see the two sort of, two full cups where they sit. Oh, behind you. It's a funny day here. It's still kind of warm. even at this time of the year. Right, Virgo. So you're in a strong position, clearly. You know, you may well, I mean, if we look at it in another way, you may well have had a interaction with a very sort of authoritarian figure. That's another thing when we look at the Emperor and the Six of Wands. You've had an interaction of sorts, or you've dealt with structures, you know, with the structures that exist in this society, male dominated possibly, or male quality dominated, but you have been seen to be a winner. You've had success. If this was the case, you've had success, and possibly you even excel in environments that are largely male. But certainly the basis of this is the star ultimate healing and Five of Cups. In your recent past, we get 3 cards coming out for you, Virgo. Wow. So we get the Knight of Cups, a very Taurian card, and a card of chipping away. Of course, you know, this stability, gradual chipping away, chip at work, at whatever it is. The Knight, though, really his domain is in terms of management, in terms of managing, you know, what one would see as the benefits or the results of his chipping away and working solidly, you know, over a long period of time. In this reading, you know, we see the Two of Wands come out, current position as well. We understand what we have domain over, our authority. We're quite secure in that. In fact, we're quite secure in all of this, I do feel. Whatever situation, scenario it may well relate to in your life. And then, of course, wow, we have the High Priestess with these 3 in the current position. The Two of Wands, we can see what we can do with what we've got. And that could be a very wide expanse. It is our domain. It is where we have the say in what goes on and what doesn't go on. It's really quite strong. It's quite powerful. What I do see here is that there's and we're speaking in the material world here, management, authority. We're also seeing as a wand this will center in action, making decisions. But what we also see on top of that at this current time for you, Virgo, is the High Priestess, which is all about, it goes way beyond what the material world. It goes way beyond your ability to action, movement in your world, to action management, to action your authority. It goes way beyond that. This is about, you know, this is about your lineage, your genetic family, or not even your I mean, it doesn't necessarily need to be genetic family, but it is your lineage and the connections that define your lineage. So family connections. It's quite interesting. And the High Priestess, you know, a sort of spiritual, I hate to use the word elevation, but she does ask you in. She asks you in. And so you go beyond the veil that you see. You have a glimpse into her realm, which there are many hallways, there are many doorways. There is a lot of information there. So it's really interesting on a few different levels, as we see. Let's see. So a card moving forward, that's quite substantial. It's quite a substantial collection of cards at this point. And interestingly, an equal combo of really strong sort of male, what are deemed to be, you know, historically male qualities like authority and domain and kingdoms, but also this female, this high priestess, you know, being able to be willing to enter, and asked, in fact, to enter her realm. Oh, so, wow, yeah, it's quite full on. This is part of the healing at the basis of this reading, in fact. Moving forward, where are we? Just concentrate. Moving forward here for Virgo, please. Can we just have one card? Yes, woo. Yes, thank you. Okay, so now, excuse me, Virgo. Excuse me. Oh, well, we've got more than one. We've got a few. Right. Sometimes it's quite difficult to step through that veil when one is invited. Sometimes we're confident in our own domain. Yeah, Virgo. Now, so I say this. So don't get hooked up on the timing here. We get the Three of Swords. With this sort of moving forward, we get the Seven of Swords, and we get the Hanged Man. I think there are certain things that you are wanting to get to the bottom of. And I'm not talking about in the material world. I think that's all honky-dory. I think it's all absolutely fabulous, in fact. You are on top, your own authority. You've got consummate management skills here. But it's managing a far more internal journey, like life's journey. You're really good at you know, embracing your health, you know, your well-being, making sure that everything is as it should be for you, whether that be small detail or large. But I think there is something that you're working through at the moment, and the seed of which lies somewhere within the Five of Cups, you know, this melancholy underlying sense of, which of course we all feel at different times, Virgo. But what I see here it's like there are two screens really, and one at the front here is, yeah, a great success. There's another one at the back here that requires some internal journeying and sifting through, maybe finding some more information at the root of this is just what I'm getting, at the root of what exists within this Five of Cups is not seeing those two. Now, the two may well not be, obviously, in the material world. You're on this journey because we have the star here as the basis of this entire reading. And the star is primarily a healing card. We will clarify this. But I do feel when we, the High Priestess, maybe you're tuning into this aspect of yourself. And it's a rediscovery in some ways. I mean, this is a beautiful depiction of that High Priestess because she exists within you, of course, as well. And if you do believe in the sort of, past lives and all that sort of thing, the High Priestess is really the gatekeeper to information, even if it's information in this life. But she is the gatekeeper to that, as it were. I do feel that you are trying to get to the bottom of this at the same time. I mean, this is a reading of a very kind of strong and successful person. I mean, this is just what it says. A strong and successful person who wants to understand an aspect of themselves more clearly. This is what it's saying to me. So let's just get some clarification here, if we can. Oh, that's too many. Let's look at the not that I usually do look what's behind you, but let's look at the Five of Cups. Yeah. We get the Devil card. In the Morgan Greer deck, we have this, charming representation. So, it's the bondage of that desiring something of which we have lost and then clearly feel sort of melancholic or sad about. I'm not saying this specifically as what you've experienced recently, but this is the guts of this, delving in a little bit deeper to some aspects of your soul, of your psyche, to understand aspects of it, dear Virgo. It's pretty deep. It's pretty deep. And so we get the Devil coming with the Five of Cups, always looking for perfection, maybe. Understanding that's quite a simple concept to understand about oneself. Always wanting things to be, and things aren't always, of course, the way that we want them to be. That bondage of desiring perfection or desiring something that if we changed our perspective, we would see that we had it. I mean, it's an incredibly successful, it's just an incredibly successful collection of cards here, and strong cards. So the attachment, the attachment to, I don't know. It's interesting. Let's have a look here at the High Priestess, please, if we can. Yeah, this is what is going to complete something for you. This is what I'm getting anyway here. Look, this is sort of annoying me, sorry. It's shining on my neck. It looks sort of weird. Anyway, speaking of perfect light, the High Priestess, Virgo. What was I saying? This is going to, whatever information you need, or you're looking into yourself, or, it could be someone that's been incredibly successful and they find that they're just never satisfied. It's got that feel to it. They're never satisfied. It's always sort of, and they go into, this state of just thinking, oh shit, well, these things are in front of me. This Three of Swords, basic sorrow here, and heartache and wounds. Seven of Swords, psychological wounding, feeling like you have to, go around the back door to get what you want. You can't be truly honest about what you desire or want. And then the Hanged Man, poof, I can't deal with this. I'm going to go into a nothing in, nothing out scenario. This is what it feels. This is what it feels like. But with the High Priestess, sorry, I don't mean to go on and, positive things come out of anything. These things, this is really positive. I mean, it's a very strong reading. High Priestess, what was I saying before that? I said, look, this delving into the back history of your psyche, of your life, is the linchpin to propel you forward. And that is exactly what happens after this happens. In fact, if we looked at timing here, it could be, as I said at the beginning, don't get hooked up on the timing. This almost appears to belong here behind you, because currently you're sitting here. I mean, this is like, it's pretty amazing. You're like king of the, king of the pack, leader of the pack, You're the leader of the pack. But there is some unfinished business, which the High Priestess is the key to it. You just have to walk in. You've been asked to anyway here, or you've wanted to. That's why you get in there, isn't it? And the Magician appears. This whole understanding aspects of the psyche is your key to this. This is what I just get from this reading. Right. Okay, so let's have a look at the Three of Swords, please. We know it's sorrow. Knight of Cups. This could be related to a specific event in your life. For some people out there, a specific event. We get the Knight of Cups, a fast-moving knight, reasonably mature offering in his cup, an emotional offering, a love offering. But someone out there, it could relate to a love scenario, a recent sort of codependent relationship, because these two cards really speak of that as well. So there's a few narratives going on there. This is the thing of doing general readings, that there's a lot of stuff coming through often, but private readings and video link will be available soon, so we're working on that, time-wise and all the rest of it. So it could be a specific person here that relates to this sorrow, historical sorrow is what I see, or a relationship that was quite codependent, that you are, that you have been victorious in going through this process of healing with. So anyway, I'm just going to stick to, otherwise it just gets too confusing. There's, like 3 different stories going on. Lovely Virgo. So, so we see the Knight of Cups. It could relate to that. That could relate to aspects of yourself. The Knight of Cups. Oh, look, I think it does. I mean, I was just saying that, and we get the Emperor coming out again. There's a rigidity about, I mean, there's limitations in authority. Clearly, this reading is about someone out there who has a great authority, and other people see that. Like, it's obvious to everyone. But maybe they have a problem with emotional expression, or that they have regrets about that. Virgo, this is quite intense reading. It feels that just sort of feels a bit repressed. The Emperor with the Knight of Cups. Right, on the 3 of Swords. Okay, let's look at the Hangman for lovely Virgo today. Or Virgo. The Hanged Man, but there's massive healing going on. You've overcome. It is a transformation. I mean, I talk about transformations all the time because they do occur a lot at the moment. It's just coming through in pretty much every reading, and they're all really quite specific readings and quite different, interestingly, this week. Now, what have we got? Well, we've got too many, but anyway, what was I talking about? Yeah, transformations occurring, because this is a transformation. The key is to look through the backlogs of your own journals. I mean, literally sometimes. Or in the records of time in your lineage. There's family stuff going on here. Anyway. Let's see. So we have, we've got too many, but anyway, we'll read them the way that they came out, which was this way. This is wild. First up, which came out quite separately from the others, we have the Empress, creativity, love and creativity at its height. There's a crystallization going on in this card in regards to salt, because the Empress, literally rises from the Sea of Binah, the primordial water. Strangely enough, the High Priestess is kind of there too. So when we look at the Hanged Man, it's sort of nothing coming in, nothing going out, but there's a hell of a lot going on, in fact, while he's hanging there. She, he, whatever. So we get the Empress, to clarify the Hangman, we get the Empress, right? So we've got primordial seas, from whence all things come. The waters of the waters within the placenta. I mean, it's just starts to get totally wild here. Then we see the 5 of Cups again. Melancholy, disappointment. We sort of can't seem to fulfill what is like a mothering, it's a really mothering, creative mother. I mean, we all know the Empress is that, but she is also the consort to the Emperor. So really in this whole reading, Virgo, it's like rebalancing. It is like a balance. Trying to incorporate, or not incorporate, but integrate the two aspects, right? You've got your Emperor, that's part of you. You've got your Empress, that's part of you. There's a sadness involved here with the Empress. This may not make any sense. So then we have the 5 of Cups, disappointment, loss. We can't seem to sort of fulfill something here, even though we've got huge levels of success. We then have the King of Swords, the ultimate in truth and clarity at this highest level. Being able to see right down the middle. Being able to see what the balance needs to be. Actually, if we're speaking of balance, we see the figure holding on to the coin. In order for things to shift, we need to let go a little bit. We need to let go a little bit of that security that this card is all about. The structure of it, there's one way in and one way out. And it's always through the heart. I mean, in the Thoth deck, literally, it is a structure with one way in and one way out. I say it's through the heart, but in fact, in the Thoth deck, that gateway and the 4 of discs, that is the one way in and one way out, is the material earth plane of which we are part of. Oh God, this is fascinating. So the directive really is to let go a little bit, just to let go a little bit. Let go a little bit. There's something big's happened here, I do feel. There's been a really big realization that there is need for balancing these qualities, because one has not been expressed or satisfied, is what I get. The other card in that cluster is the 6 at the end, the 6 of Cups. Now, in the 6 of Cups, we see some readers would say it's past life connections. I you know, it's memories of past to me. So we have these connections, well, you know, emotional connections in our lives. They are literally like threads, like golden threads, webs almost. The 6 of Cups, we remember childhood, we remember our really strong connections, what made us happy. And it can relate to some close contacts reappearing from the past as well with the 6 of Cups. The 6 of Cups is a beautiful card, more so I do feel visually in the Thoth deck, because it's a series of cups with a C that is threaded with gold threads. It's really beautiful. Yeah, look, sorry Virgo, but we get what we get, and but it's amazing. But there's a lot of stuff going on here. But the main grounding card here, which I always look at, that's the roots coming down here. This is the basis of it, is healing, is opening yourself up. I mean by that, clearing, cleaning clearing your internal connection with your, whatever you want to call it, your higher self, your guidance, so that things are in a balance. It's just beautiful. It's a beautiful reading. It's a beautiful reading. Let's just see, what can the Magician, because if we look at it in a placement sense, where the currently are with your High Priestess and Magician, what's happening here with the Magician? Because this is the Magician, I do believe, is the linchpin, and that linchpin to whatever mystery is going on here, Virgo, dear Virgo. With the fairies and pixies, we get fairies of the future. The linchpin here is the Magician, because embodying that by investigating the High Priestess's hallways and libraries, of which you have access to, dear Virgo, is going to take you into a future that is not going to be disappointing in any way. A future where you do understand aspects that maybe have caused you a bit of pain, aspects of your psyche, aspects of your life, aspects of the past. This Magician propels you forward with great gusto and great joy. And we know when the Hanged Man appears that that is just a period. We know there's big things coming after that. So let's just get a journey map card, Virgo. Wow. Really beautiful reading. Just a journey map, please. Give them a good shuffle. A good shuffle. Wow. Yeah, exactly. Virgo's been Virgos too, because you're so organised. After the Hanged Man, it's all go. Well, indeed it is. We get action. Solar force. Again, embodying what is the Emperor. You know, this action-packed, solid, fired up authority. There's no mucking around here. This is like uber, well, she's like a sort of uber solar goddess, you know. There's no holding back, dear Virgo. Wow. Now, let's just get one Harlequin card. I hope someone out there found this of benefit. Action is a verb. Hello. Yeah. But we can have this current time where we do hang. Let's just hang. Let's go into Hanged Man phase for the purpose, because there is always a purpose to it. So don't beat yourself up about that one. You highly successful and gorgeous creature, Virgo. Thank you. Thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoy this week and this gorgeous new moon. So plant those seeds. Cheers for that, Virgo. Bye for now. Bye.